You imagined a room, doors opening, people standing, somebody finally saying, "I knew you could do it." That room isn't coming. Not because you don't deserve it, because it was never real to begin with, and by the end of this video you're going to understand exactly why that's the best news you've heard all year. Here's something almost nobody tells you about waiting for applause. It doesn't just fail to show up sometimes. When it does show up, it can quietly rewrite your own memory of why you started. Psychologists call it the overjustification effect. The moment an external reward enters the picture, people begin re-explaining their own past behavior to themselves. I did that for the reward, even when the reward had nothing to do with why they began. So understand what you're actually asking for when you beg the world for applause. You're not just asking to be seen. You're handing someone else the pen to rewrite the reason you started in the first place. Now, don't mistake this for never accept praise. Research is precise about this, and precision matters here. Praise that simply tells you the truth. You handled that well. Protects your drive. Sometimes it even strengthens it. Praise that comes with strings attached, recognition dangled to control what you do next, is the version that quietly kills you. The applause you've been starving for was never the problem. The leash tied to it was. Most of what you call waiting for someone to believe in me is actually waiting for someone to hand you a leash and calling it love. Here's the part that flips almost everything self-help content tells you. Verbal recognition, words said honestly, doesn't wreck your motivation. It's the tangible reward, the money, the prize, the trophy. Those are what quietly hollow you out over time. Which means the applause you keep waiting for was never even the dangerous part. You built a whole identity around avoiding a threat that barely exists while missing the real one. You've imagined this so many times. The room, the faces, the moment everyone finally sees it. Here's the research that should genuinely disturb you. In study after study, people massively overestimate how much attention a room actually pays to their biggest moments. Their wins and their failures both. That room you've been picturing, full, watching, ready to erupt, was never going to be that big. Not even on your best day. Not even if you'd already won. You weren't robbed of a crowd. The crowd was a size you invented. And here's the twist that should take the sting out of all of it. People also consistently overestimate how visible their internal state is to others. What you're carrying. The hope, the fear, the hours nobody clocked. It doesn't show. Not the way you think. So when you say, nobody sees how hard I'm working, you're right. Not because they don't care. Because you were never standing on a stage they could see. You built the stage in your own head, and you're the only one who ever had a ticket. Nobody believes in me. Nobody notices. Nobody's coming. Here's what researchers found when they actually measured this instead of assuming it. What people believe others think of them and what those people actually think. Barely match. The story running in your head right now isn't a report from the room. It's a rumor you started, that you've been the only one repeating. Here's the mechanism that actually matters. Not the poetic version. The real one. When a task requires real skill, interest in that task can keep growing over time, with zero external reward attached at all. Not because you're disciplined enough to fake caring. Because mastery generates its own fuel. It's not a metaphor. It's a measurable psychological process that runs whether or not a single person is watching it happen. You don't need a crowd to keep the engine running. You need the skill to get real enough that it starts running itself. Nobody is coming to clap for you. Say it again, slower this time, and let it land differently than it did at the start of this video. Nobody is coming to clap for you. Because the only person whose account of your effort was ever accurate was you. Not the room you imagined. Not the crowd you invented. Not the applause you kept rehearsing in your head at full volume for an audience that was never that big to begin with. You. The one who was there for every rep. Every rejected version. Every 2 a.m. you didn't post about. So stop checking the door. Stop refreshing the room for a sound that isn't coming. The clapping was never the proof that the work mattered. The work was the proof. It was the proof the entire time. You just kept waiting for someone else to confirm what you already had the power to know for yourself. Nobody is coming to clap for you. Good. Now you don't have to wait for permission to know it was real. Go finish it.